Oh, just the kids and their... Padded Room Radio is back on the air, baby doll. My name is still Darian. I am still here doing the same goddamn thing for I don't even know how long anymore. It's been that long. My main man Dusty is here.
Hello, hello.
What's going on, Big Dust?
Oh, you know, same old shit, different pile.
Same old shit, buddy. I hear you. It just keeps going and going, man.
Yeah.
Buddy is not here with us this week. Apparently there were some complications with his son's surgery.
Yes.
So he is probably going to be out for at least a couple of weeks. Good news. Little guy's doing okay. It just doesn't look like it went 100% the way it was supposed to.
Right. Wishing him the speedy recovery.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll keep you abreast of the situation with him and his son, though. So we'll wish him a speedy recovery and hope he gets back to us soon. In the meantime, my man, we got a bit of a horror show to get to.
Oh, yeah.
Anything going on with you at all?
Last volleyball tournament of the season was last weekend, so that's pretty
nice.
Right on, yeah.
So
no more driving over the hill.
How long until the next season starts?
Well, she's doing training now, but that doesn't involve travel.
Oh, that's good.
That's just 3 days a week practice, which is manageable.
That's cool. That's
no
doable.
more over the hills. Nothing,
yeah, dude.
You know, it's
no more California.
Weekends, we got them back, you know, so that's nice.
Enjoy it while it lasts, dude. Because mine are gone probably until they get to college.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Yeah. I signed up for it. I pay for this.
Well, that's what I was thinking is like, you know, when they're all off and don't want nothing to do with us when they're in their 18 to 20s, you know. And then what are we going to do?
I know.
With our life.
I know.
You know.
I know. I guess what I keep telling myself. There will be a day when I miss going to the sports dome and spending $300 to $500 a week.
Yeah, you can still go there, but you'd be a creeper.
You'd be a creeper.
Yeah.
You
don't want to do that anymore.
One of the dads from my football team did that. We canceled practice, and for some reason he didn't get the email.
He just stayed and
watched.
And
he's a single dad, so the kid's mom brings him down, and then he picks him up from practice and leaves.
Gotcha.
So he's down there just hanging. I think he had a corn dog, and he chilled out for a little while.
All right.
Bit of a weirdo.
That is a little
strange there, you know.
You know, there is a golf shop about, 6 doors down. You could go whack a few balls.
Yeah, you could do something.
Other than watching children play sports.
I'm just, there's some really great games here on the weekends.
This one over here, the red team and the blue team, is very competitive.
Oh, they don't like each other. All right, there. 300 yards, I believe, is the safe distance. All right, man. Well, we got horror news and listener mail and all kinds of fun stuff happening. Yeah. I say we kick it off with a little horror news.
Horror news.
All right, big fella, what do you got?
All right, so this is pretty exciting.
I'm excited.
Super exciting.
Okay, I'm ready.
We are not only getting, a Crystal Lake TV show.
Right.
We are getting a Jason-verse coming at us. With TV shows, new movies, games, merch, other media, and they basically are saying that it's all kind of tied in to the same new Jason-verse.
Okay.
And they revealed a new design for Jason, and there's a new logo, the Jason Universe logo that they dropped.
All right.
He looks pretty good.
Okay.
He kind of harkens back to I don't know, Friday the 13th, maybe 3 kind of look with the button-up, disheveled shirt and the boots and the dark jeans. But the mask is kind of distinct. It's still the Jason Voorhees mask, but it only has 13 holes, so just down the middle, in the eye holes, and it still has the paint on it, the red paint.
Sure.
So it's a pretty cool picture. So, and they, like I said, they're doing this for a whole new Jason verse, Jason universe. So
I'm into
pretty excited.
It. Yeah. A couple of thoughts. Obviously, it's going to have to take place in the 70s. And I would venture to say at this point, the Jason mask at this point is more synonymous with the NHL hockey mask.
Yeah.
It's more synonymous with Friday the 13th than it ever had anything to do with hockey, right? Mm-hmm. I think we can move on from the hockey mask.
Well,
he's the only one using it anymore, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's other guys out there wanting to kill people, and they get...
Where would you even find a 70s hockey mask?
That's what I'm saying.
Even wear?
Yeah. You can't... You got to buy one.
Yeah.
Or you got to, make one or something. Get it off Etsy. I don't know. But I was always a big fan of Sackhead Jason. I thought he was a pretty scary guy. Friday the 13th Part 2. I don't know what you replace it with, though, because... These days, the goalies don't wear the mask. They have like a face helmet deal yep. Which I don't know. No, that doesn't see it. You see his face right through that thing. Maybe like a...
I don't know what you could do to make it work.
A welder's mask. Huh?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of big and bulky. But it wouldn't be any sillier than that thing in A Violent Nature.
Violent Nature, the fireman mask.
Whatever the hell that fucking thing was. All right, well, I'm excited. It's
me too.
Revitalizing that franchise. It's about time.
Yeah, they must have got through all the licensing disputes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, it's full steam ahead with the Jason universe, I guess.
Let's do it, yeah.
I think they're supposed to drop that Crystal Lake, what are they called, prequel series, I think this October.
Okay.
Is what I've heard.
I'm into that.
Rumblings of.
Let's go.
So, not confirmed, but there are rumblings of that.
All right. I don't know about rumblings.
You never know, because there's been many rumblings of things Friday the 13th that never came to fruition.
My son has had the shits all weekend.
Those are rumblings.
All kinds of rumblings coming from that room, the bathroom. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's not a good rumbling.
No, bad rumblings. Nothing to do with Jason Voorhees.
No.
What else you got, man?
All right, and I got another one kind of dropped today, which is pretty exciting too, is the trailer for Stephen King's Welcome to Derry has just dropped today. Watched it. Looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
Very in the vein of the movies and the kids and fighting the Pennywise. And this one's supposed to take place in 1962.
Okay.
And the director, creator, same guy that did the first two movies.
Andy Muschietti?
Yep, Andy Muschietti is saying, well, him and his wife, they would like to do, they envisioned a 3-season run of Welcome to Derry. And basically what they want to do is take the second season, go back to 1935, and then the third season go back to 1908. And they want to base it off all the interludes that are in the book that talk about all the bad shit that happened over the 27-year spans. Every time he comes out of hibernation, something bad happens, obviously.
Yeah.
So the fire at the Black Spot, the massacre of the Bradley gang, and then the explosion at the Kitchener Ironworks. So basically it's like they want to explore each one of those things that they kind of glanced over in the interlude portion where they're learning the history of Pennywise It, and explore those time frames with a whole season worth of shows. Yeah. So
I like it. I'm into it. I'm excited for it. It looks great. I saw the trailers.
Yeah.
There were other Stephen King things, short stories and such, that kind of took place in and around Derry.
Oh, yeah. That's always mentioned in multiple works.
I wonder if we can maybe, sprinkle a little bit of that in there.
Yeah, I'd have to remember. I can't remember which all of them that happened in or around Derry. I do know, did you ever read that 11/22/63 about the guy that goes back in time to stop the JFK assassination?
I did not read that one.
Okay, well, it's basically, it's kind of a butterfly effect thing, right?
Okay.
So you go back, and he figures out where Oswald was going to be, and he stops him from killing Kennedy. He comes, backtrack. The portal to 1963, if you will, is in a back broom closet of a diner that's in Derry.
Okay.
So Derry is in that book, right?
Right.
And but every time he goes back to do something, he comes back the next time and
everything's different.
Everything's fucked. It's post-apocalyptic. Everything's fucked. So the Russians bombed us because Kennedy wasn't assassinated.
Right.
All this shit happened.
Right.
So you have to go back and try to fix shit.
The fucking thing. Okay.
But that's one example of Derry being in the books.
Dreamcatcher. Was another one. The four guys came from Derry, although the alien invasion didn't take place.
It was in the mountains.
Yeah, up in Nova Scotia or something like that. Yeah. But there was a lot of references to those guys and the alien Down syndrome kid, things that happened in their childhood. And it could go a lot of different ways.
Well, they mentioned it a couple times in the Dark Tower series.
I'm sure. So yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it. What do you got, buddy?
Dude. Are you ready for Deathgasm, the video game?
That sounds awesome.
It could be. I don't know. It might be dumb as shit. Be honest with you.
Is it they're doing all these side scrollers now. They're making a Terminator video game side scroller, but
that's what
it's uber violent kind of thing.
Right. Now, I can't tell you anything about this other than it hits Kickstarter next month. But you can kickstart Deathgasm, the video game.
All right.
I don't know. If it's going to Kickstarter. I don't have my hopes up.
Well, that's kind of where they go to start. I think that's where there's a Terminator one coming out.
Yeah.
There's another property I couldn't remember, but anyway, that's kind of the thing now. And they're just doing like a little 16-bit, basically, kind of like a side scroller.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
I think there's a Art the Clown video game.
Yep, there is. Yep, there is.
All kinds of fun stuff. Scream Factory is releasing a Mario Bava collection, 12 movies.
Oh wow!
I might have to pick that up.
Are those the steel books and that kind of stuff, or is that just
no? It'll probably just be a big box.
Big
set.
box. Okay.
Yeah. I'm into it. I like some Bava every now and then. A little hankering for some Italian.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be $300.
Yeah.
But I can sneak that past the wife.
Gotcha.
As long as she doesn't see the box actually show up. Get to the mailbox quick, Dusty. Get it out of there.
You got to have a little squirrel hole. That's where I squirrel away some money. And where'd you get the money for this? Well, I don't know. It was cheaper than I thought it was going to be. It was on sale.
Got a 2-for-1 on a thing with the... Stupid. They're not buying it, Dusty. They're wise to our fucking games. I'm telling you right now. They're keeping up a fucking tab, and then when the divorce papers come in, they're going, looks like that Mario Bava thing was $300, asswipe.
Yeah, after 18 years, I don't think we can squeeze anything past it.
No. Mm-mm. How do you feel about the Maniac Cop movies?
I like it.
Yeah, you seen all three of them?
I haven't seen the third. I've seen the first two.
Third one is completely bananas. That's where it's like Bride of Maniac Cop, basically. All three movies are getting a novelization by Christian Francis.
Might have to.
I might just
pick that up for little road reads.
I was going to say, if it creeps up on Audible, I might just have to pick that up. That's a fascinating character. I'd like to know more about the backstory and how the hell he became undead.
Exactly. That's one thing I didn't like is they never kind of tell you what.
No, at the end of part one, he just punches out of the coffin, and then at part two, you can shoot the piss out of him, and he doesn't care. Well, don't ask questions. Are you watching Yellow Jackets at all?
I have not. The wife's watched both. Is there 2 seasons now?
3. I believe 3. We're halfway through 3 right now.
Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't watched that one.
I heard good things.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah,
well, maybe I'll have to put her on the list.
Yeah. All I know is there's like Lord of the Rings with a volleyball team.
Lord of the Flies.
Well, maybe that too. I don't know. I don't know which.
I thought it was like a cannibalistic thing. They get stuck in the woods on an island or something, and they start forming their own little groups and
I've seen
warring between each other.
Internet videos with 2 young ladies stuck in various.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen those too.
Okay, we'll have to do some more research on that.
Yeah, we'll have to
get back to you.
Yeah, I would definitely do some more research.
It's already been renewed for a 4th season.
So it must be good.
It must be. Must be doing something.
Might as well watch it, I guess.
Lastly, here's something I'm very excited for.
All right. There
is a 1982 film that is shot directly on video called Sledgehammer. It is quite a lot of people would point to this as the worst film ever made. It's about a guy that kills people with a sledgehammer.
All right.
But it looks like it was shot with your mom's camcorder by a bunch of your high school buddies. You can watch it on Shudder right now if you want. It is getting a Blu-ray treatment from TerraVision.
All right, are they going to upscale it, or is it just...
I mean, it looks like shit. And even like the upgraded version that they have on Shudder still looks like shit. It's that weird... I don't know what the fuck that was, man, but remember when we were kids and like you'd stay home sick from school and the soap operas would pop on?
Yeah.
And they always looked like real fuzzy?
Yes.
Whatever that was.
Gotcha.
I don't know what that was.
When the high-def TVs first came out, I remember a buddy of mine had like the best one that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it had that effect, like the soap opera effect.
Yeah.
It was so clear, but it had fuzz, like I was saying, so it looked like you were watching a soap opera, but it was regular TV.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't really like that.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. It looks terrible, but man, I'm interested to see what a 4K Blu-ray would look like for Sledgehammer.
All right.
And yes, I will be purchasing that. And at some point, you and your wife will come over, and you will sit out there, and you will fucking watch it.
You put it up on the
watch it in the backyard.
Summer movie night.
I think there's like some weird rapey stuff going on.
All right. Well, we can fast forward.
I don't know if I want the whole neighborhood seeing that. And that was how I became a sex offender, Justin. Right on, dude. I think it's time for some listener mail then.
Sounds good.
Listener mail.
Here comes our main man in Alabama. Alan's in the house.
How's it going, Alan?
Howdy, room. What's up?
What's up, dude?
Everybody's doing good. Let's see. Meat Hook, Horror Couples.
What do you think?
Number 3, I'm surprised nobody brought them up. Chucky and Tiffany. Number 2, Otis and Beatty.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, they're not blood siblings.
Okay.
And number 1, Mickey and Mallory.
Mickey and Mallory.
Mr. Darian, you are the Fly.
Got me.
And the character Francois, and I remember this because the Misfits song Return of the Fly.
Yep.
Anyway,
Francois.
I watched The Ugly Stepsister.
What'd you think?
That was something else.
Yes, it
wasn't extremely boring.
Okay.
But the scenes still got to me, I guess, maybe because it was presented realistically, and screams, and it just made you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And when she pukes up the tapeworms.
That was gnarly.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, buddy.
But it was the toe chopping.
Yeah.
That was something else. Anyway, what else? I watched Novocaine about this guy who can't feel pain, and the bank he works at gets robbed, and the chick who he had fallen in love with gets kidnapped by the robbers, and he proceeds to go after them. It's an action comedy. One of the coolest scenes is he does the Taipei stuff. You remember Bloodsport when Van Damme rips his hands and
glass.
Broken glass.
Broken glass.
Okay.
Yeah, he does this with just banging his hands into a bunch of broken glass. It's a cool movie.
All right.
Talk to y'all later. Have a good one.
Beautiful.
Take it easy, Alan.
Thanks for calling in, Alan. Okay. There's a horror movie about the same thing. Guy can't feel pain. It's called. It's actually a trilogy called Malevolence. And I have all 3 of them, and the bonus features actually talk about the condition where you simply don't have a pain index. It's actually very dangerous.
Oh yeah,
because you can hurt yourself pretty bad and not even know it. So that's kind of scary.
Yeah, the wife was watching that one.
Yeah?
Novocaine. And she was running on the treadmill. I was like, what are you watching? And I saw that exact scene that Alan's talking about where he's punching his hands into the glass on the ground, and then he goes after this, I think it's a Russian mob dude. I don't know who he was. But yeah, just punches him in the face and stuff. And it's, it's gnarly.
Okay.
But
I'm into it.
I finished the movie. I just saw that scene.
Right on. Here comes Mr. Tom Hardy. Hey, yo.
What's going on, Tom?
Hey, yo, padded room. How's my favorite degenerate this week?
What's up, big guy?
I do hope everyone is doing well. Hey, I got a bunch of stuff I wanted to get into.
Let's get it.
Get to it. Real quick there, Darren, from last week.
Huh.
you had mentioned you were unsure about Aja Argento's fucking age.
Yes.
She was born in 75.
She's older than me.
I was born in 75 as well.
You're older than me.
You know, humble brag here. I graduated high school at 18, so that would be 1993.
Okay.
The
Class
Stendhal syndrome didn't come out till 96.
Okay.
So I guess that would put her at, 21?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Fucking jack away, I guess. But yeah,
I'll set up a target.
Of the legal fucking age there. I don't know.
Good looking out, Tom.
As far as the educating department, I think I got this.
Come on
one,
now.
But
it's a layup.
I feel like there's one detail that it's not matching up. Are you the fly?
Yes, sir. Well done.
I feel like there's one detail that's not matching up in there.
No, you got it.
Okay. On the what are you looking at department? I threw in some shit. I don't know about you. Sometimes when you're having a fucking bum day or whatever, you just throw in some shit that you just have seen dozens of times, but you still like to rewatch. And,
yeah.
Fucking for me, that was Bubba Hotep.
Okay.
And what's that? John's Eyes at the End.
I'll never understand that movie.
Good flick. I still love it to this day. Both by the director of Phantasm.
Yep.
I also watched Zombie from Lucio Fulci.
Alrighty. Still feeling the Italian.
Watched The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. First time viewing for me.
Okay.
I don't know, you know what you get when it's black and white. You know what you get when it's Vincent Price. You're not gonna get fucking blood, guts, and gore, and it's not gonna be particularly terrifying. But this is the first adaptation of I Am Legend.
Mm-hmm.
Then became Omega Man, and then I guess the Will Smith
I Am Legend.
Now.
Yeah, Omega Man
I haven't
with
seen
Heston
that, but I thought
as a second iteration.
I agree.
I also got to catch the Screaming Skull, which is another fucking 60s black and white.
You went back to the classics.
Actually, this one here was colorized.
Oh, no.
And it was free on Prime.
Never
First
a good
time
thing.
viewing. I said, fuck it, let's give it a run. Don't fucking watch the colorized
I
version,
wouldn't,
dude.
no.
You're gonna feel like you're getting fucking sick or something, man. This guy walks out of the bushes and half of him is still green and some of the bushes are white.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So it's a weird... The movie itself is not anything fucking fantastic or particularly great, but one thing I really did want to talk about, and I'm curious if anybody's seen it and is remembering the...
GP. Colorizations, dude.
Yeah, no.
Never really work.
Yeah, I watched the White Zombie in color, and I think I probably should have watched the black and white one.
Yeah.
Because you really saw through the blackface paint.
Oh, no.
You're like,
oh, you are a terrible human being, aren't you? Yes, you are. Somewhere around here, I got a colorized version of Night of the Living Dead. It is terrible. It looks like, for some reason, everything is pastel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a soft, Dwayne Jones is wearing like a soft orange salmon.
Yeah.
Sure, it's very distracting. Like the sky is like various shades of like greenish teal. It really throws you off.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that shit, man.
Yeah, anything that's was filmed in black and white, the colorization's usually not real good.
How do they even do that? Does some guy go through the film cells with a crayon and? I'd hate to think that.
Paint by numbers.
Yeah, I wonder
every single cell.
There's got to be some kind of a program for doing it these days.
They were able to do it before. I think computer stuff was involved, so I think it's probably like. They put in a different solution or something, maybe, and it brings some colors out, or what the colors they thought should have been. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you got to take some creative liberties for that. Right on. He called back. G motherfucking Pete, baby.
G motherfucking Pete. Hell yeah. As I was saying, in regards to the Screaming Skull, the opening music. If anybody remembers, or if you just want to fucking bring it up, I swear it's so similar to the opening score in The Shining. And I don't know, I heard it. As soon as I heard it, I immediately went to The Shining in my head. Anyway, just thought it was interesting.
Okay.
And then I got to catch this newer Fulci flick, first time viewing Cat in the Brain.
Yeah, I've been flirting with that one.
Simultaneously one of the most Fulci and one of the least Fulci flicks.
Okay.
It's actually kind of interesting. It's Fulci going insane, or is he? And it's actually him playing himself.
As perfect.
He's directing a horror movie. Thought it was okay.
All right.
It's a Fulci flick. You know what you're going to get. This one's particularly fucking sexually gratuitous and violent and stuff, but it was fine. You know what you're getting with one of these flicks. Hey, okay, on to the meat hooks. We got the horror couples.
Yes, sir.
Let me get in here real quick. All right, so I got 3 for you.
Okay.
Oscar and Ellie from Let the Right One In.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fucking weird one.
Well.
The next horror couple, I'm all over the place with this shit,
That's
by the way. David and Alex from American Werewolf in London. The nerds and shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, shit must have been different, man. You just fucking show up at the hospital in a foreign country injured, and you just fucking bring home this hot nurse, and you're banging later.
You're ready to go, man.
I should have traveled when I was younger.
Me too.
And for the last one, let's go with Helen and Daniel Robitaille.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Candyman.
Yeah.
That's my horror couples, man. Again, you got some strange fucking categories.
That's okay.
With here, Mr. Brock.
Oh, well, you know.
Anyhow, that's all I got. Hope all is well. Love you like family. Bye now.
Love you too, Mr. Hardy.
Thanks, Tom Hardy.
Thanks for calling in. Yeah, buddy. I don't know if I would call Daniel Robitaille and Helen a couple.
Well, it's not a couple, obviously. But
more of a stalker relationship.
Yeah. But, I mean, Baby and Otis aren't a couple. Right.
I don't know what they are. Now that Alan brings it up, I'm sure
I think he's right. I don't think they're exactly siblings.
I don't think so either.
They might be cousins. Sounds more logical.
I'm sure they have fiddled with each other's diddle at some point because they're just weird that way.
If they're not drawing the line other places, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think there's many lines being drawn.
I don't think there's a line in that area. God Lord. Ugh. Right on, man. Thanks, Alan and Tom Hardy, for calling in. You got anything for Alan or Tom Hardy, Dustin?
No, thanks for calling in, guys. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Let's get ourselves into a movie here, shall we?
Sounds good.
What is storytelling? Storytelling started with our indigenous people. Can anyone give me an example of a myth or a story they're afraid of? Lucas.
What's going on? We found a part of a man in the woods today.
Part of the man?
I guess the other half was found in the mine. All this has got to be an animal, right? No animal that I've ever seen.
Something is going on with Lucas. These drawings belong to a student of mine.
This is what was in the mine. It's a diabolical spirit.
Excuse me, this is a myth.
For you, yeah.
He's not your responsibility.
He has no one on it. He is my responsibility.
He'll come for me. He needs me. He's here.
Dusty, it's Antlers from 2021.
Yep.
This one's directed by Scott Cooper, written by Henry Chasson. 5.9 stars on IMDb, starring Kerry Russell, Jesse Plemons, and Jeremy T. Thomas. This one is executive produced by Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo, this movie is a fucking bummer, bro. All the way around.
Yeah.
There is not like one... there is one thing that I got a little kick out of, but we'll get to that in a second. We are in the Pacific Northwest, somewhere in Oregon, I believe.
Yep. Oregon look like a logging or it's mining, obviously.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure there could be some logging around there, too. Small town, very, for lack of a better term, trashy.
Yeah.
A lot of trailers in this town, I'd say.
Yeah.
Probably a little impoverished, not a lot of jobs here, but...
I think Lucas's dad was making a killing on the meth he was cooking.
Unfortunately, he was using it as well, from the looks of it.
Yeah, I think he had plenty of a customer base. Shows you what kind of popular demographics we have.
The kind
in
of community
place.
we're abiding in here. It's very drab, overcast all the time. Probably somewhere in the northern Oregon, maybe on the coastline somewhere. Small town. We start off in what appears to be an abandoned mill or ironworks of some kind, and just a little boy, dirty, walking around, kind of kicking cans and smashing things and. Eventually, he climbs inside a truck, and then his dad comes out, and he's like, "Hey, man, we're almost done in here. We'll be out in a minute. Quit screwing around." Now, here's the thing. We're meeting some of our main characters here. We have Frank, who is the dad, and his son, Aiden. Now, it's obvious, right? As soon as we see Frank, the guy is fucking meth to the gills.
Oh, yeah.
Number one. Number two, he's filthy. Aiden is also filthy, but... I hate to say it.
Oh, yeah, it seems like he really cares for the kid.
Yeah, he looks like a good dad, other than the...
Minor imperfections.
I mean...
cleanliness and non-drug use is not a frowned upon in Frank's household.
Get a real job, I don't know, whatever. But he looks like he loves his son, and his son seems okay. He seemed... he could go with a shower and maybe some laundry, but other than that, he seems fine. No kind of abuse or anything that we're gaining in this little snapshot. Frank gets his gas mask on and heads back into the quote-unquote mill.
It was a mine.
It could be a mine.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, because there's tunnels. I guess that would make sense. He gets down into the tunnels. He's using a lot of road flares to light the way.
That was one of my... Get a flashlight, bro.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, especially bringing a road flare
methane gas
towards a meth lab.
Kaboom. That's what I don't understand, man.
They needed the road flare to create the creepy red lighting. But that's just, not
Guillermo,
too smart.
Come on. Come on, Guillermo. Read a physics book. Anyway, it's great. He's going down there. He's got a meth lab down there and a grimy partner that's down there cooking the meth. That sucks. They get down it's down in the mine, past where all the industrial metalworks are, to where you're just looking at rock walls and stuff.
Yeah,
like
an offshoot where they stop digging or whatever.
Some kind of a side shaft. I don't know. Yeah. They get to the lab. We meet Frank's partner, a guy named Alan. They're down there. They're making the meth, and then they start hearing weird noises coming up from the various tunnels. Freaks them right out, as it should. They're like, okay, time to go. But from what I gathered, the noises were coming from the exit shaft. So they're actually getting scared, and they're going deeper into the tunnels.
Yeah.
They hit a certain point, and they start noticing all these bags dangling from the ceiling. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they didn't explore that particular part before. Freaked right out. Alan's got a gun, starts shooting at stuff. Hear a big growl, and then... kind of a bunch of flashing camera jumps, and then we cut to our opening credits, Antlers. And then
the kid, though.
What about
the kid?
What about the kid?
So after all the flashing and the screams, and the kid walks up to the door.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that just comes into play, because obviously he gets it too.
Yeah. So, the kid, Aiden, could conceivably have come into contact with whatever the hell happened down there, which will come into play later. Now we cut to, I don't know, maybe a couple days later. We got a new school teacher in town, which is great. Her name's Jules, or Julia, played by Carrie Russell. Did you ever watch Felicity when you were a kid?
I didn't. I knew what it was,
She was like the main star in Felicity, which was, if I'm not mistaken, it's like a rom-com about a girl going to college.
Oh, okay.
She was pretty hot to trot, circa, 97.
Yeah.
It's not, she's not bad looking now.
No.
But she's definitely not Felicity anymore. So there's that. She's having a little trouble adjusting to her new class. I'd say she teaches probably 5th grade or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's got a kid in her class by the name of Lucas. Lucas is the grimy kid, very quiet, sits in the back of the classroom, gets bullied by somebody.
Red-haired prick.
Well, he needs to go back to remedial bullying because he's not doing a very good job. And I don't think Lucas is all that scared of him, to be honest with you.
No, I think he just wants him to leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, that would help. But it's on the intimidation level, the guy looked like Howdy Doody. Get the fuck out of here.
He just was bigger than him.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So this bully, I don't know his name, but he's a ginger. Apparently he stole Lucas's sock puppet and was dry humping it in class. Okay, well done, sir. We get like a very quick little, folklore lesson, the history of stories and how fictional stories and myths and things like that from our teacher, Jules. And then she's kind of immediately, Lucas kind of catches her eye because he's so quiet.
And he looks a little grimy and disheveled. Like you said, he's the dirty kid in class. And
but he's quiet. So she's kind of got an eye on him. He does a lot of doodling in class, and we'll get more into the pictures that he's drawing later, but this kind of all comes into play later. School gets out. Julie follows him for a little while, and he just kind of walks off into the woods. So that's off-putting. But then she goes home, and we learn a little bit more about Julia. So she's now living with her brother, who is now the town sheriff. She stops at a convenience store, and we get her lustfully gazing,
eyeballing the liquor.
Yeah. Maybe you could take a little snifter here. You gotta do a little quick shot on the way home, liven me up. So we can do the math. She's probably some kind of a alcoholic,
right? Yeah.
Recovering, maybe, I don't know. She looks very sad, very depressed. Rightfully so. We'll get more into that later. We get into the relationship between her and her brother. Her brother seems like a good guy. Sheriff, chubby fella, not the most attractive man I've ever seen, but sure, looks small town cop. Pulls that look off, I'd say.
Sure. Yeah.
A little tense between these two. I get the feeling that the brother, I think his name was Bill, was really looking to rebuild the relationship with Jules. She just moved back to town. And I think, but at the same time, he resents her a little bit because she split when she did.
He's the younger brother, I think.
He is.
And, you get more into it later, but the history of what they went through as kids, maybe he resents her for leaving him. I don't know.
Yeah. We find out later on that their mother died at some point, and Dad got a little touchy-feely after that.
Yeah.
And maybe some abusive stuff going on.
Beatings.
And
he said that she stuffed him in basically a crawl space on the floor to punish her and stuff. Yeah, real dick
move things. Which sucks, but now I feel like because Jules has been through that, she's kind of recognizing some of the signs from Lucas. So she's got an eye on him now.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Now we're going to cut to Lucas. He goes back to his house. It's not a very cool situation, Dusty.
Nope.
No power to this place.
Picked up something along the way, though.
Yes, remember? He did. Little of the old roadkill, I believe.
First one was a little bit of skunk action.
Was it? Oh, that's right. He killed the skunk. Second one, I think, was a raccoon, right?
Yeah, a little bit of roadkill.
Yeah. He just goes out of the woods and kills animals, and he brings them home. And we're not just sure why yet, but when he gets there, house is derelict. No power. It's basically a bunch of termites holding hands. Filthy, of course, bunch of busted
up. A drug addict's meth house. And
yes.
That's exactly what it is.
I will say it's a house. It's not a trailer.
No, it's not.
I thought for sure a trailer.
Barely.
I mean, house is a structure. We'll say that. And
quite a few unmoving cars growing moss in the front yard.
Yeah, a lot of junk. Not a lot of landscaping happening here. Just pretty much filthy. Hoarder-esque in a way. And it's pitch black once the sun goes down, so Lucas has to get around with a miner's helmet that he found with a flashlight on it. What we see him do is go up to the upstairs bedroom, toss the various animals into one of the bedrooms. There's a lot of moaning and growling and thumping going on. But Lucas goes in there, and he tosses the stuff, and then we see Aiden, the little brother, come out. Aiden doesn't look too good, man.
No.
Emaciated. Pale, black crud coming out of his eyes.
Yeah, black veins coming out of his face.
Bad business, man. Maybe dysentery?
Something. Just does not look right.
I believe it's crotch rot. That's
I think he's a little young for crotch rot.
Well, these mining communities. It's a very small town, Dusty.
Gotcha. Maybe him and his old man share underwear.
It could be. That's a very real possibility as well. It's nasty. It's bad. It's bad business. But the next day in school, now at this point, we do get a quick snapshot of Lucas taking his sock monkey and like cutting it open and taking the stuffing out. Mm. And then the next day in school, I thought this was rather ingenious on his part. He has filled his own sock monkey with dog shit under the pretense that the bully kid is going to steal it again, which he does. Yeah. And now the bully kid is walking around smelling like dog shit all
Got him. Bully trap.
Go fuck yourself, howdy doody. The bully kid, of course, figures it out and opens up the sock puppet. It's got a bunch of turds in it. And then he puts a little bit of a beating on old Lucas there. Lucas is fine. He doesn't get roughed up too bad, but he does have to go to the nurse, and the nurse has him take his shirt off as Jules is walking by. She sees a lot of like bruising and stuff like that. Nothing that the bully would have done. From there, she's, okay, now we got to do something about this. So the first thing she does is goes and tells her brother about it, the cop. Brother's like, yeah, I know Frank Weaver. I've arrested him 300 times. I've revived him with Narcan
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, a bunch of times. He's just the town
piece of shit.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, if I arrest him, then what's going to happen to those 2 boys? There's not going to be anybody there to take care of them, which sucks. And he's right. So there's that. She's like, well, we got to do something. It's just like what we went through, kind of. And he's like, well, what would you like me to do exactly? Because, I mean, it's either that or they get taken to some disgusting institution somewhere where it's even worse, right? So the next day at school, she's kind of keeping an eye on Lucas again, and Lucas is now, like, drawing these doodles of, like, monsters being, like, ripping people apart, stuff like that. Pretty heavy stuff. So she follows him home. Well, she doesn't follow him home, but she follows him after school and buys him some ice cream. And we get like a little bonding moment here between Jules and Lucas where, she's talking about how her mother died, and he mentions that his mother died, and she's left in a kind of a not great place with her dad, and she's like kind of poking and prodding him about how his dad is and what's going on there, and he's not really giving her any information. At the end, he just gets up and leaves and asks her not to follow him again. Yeah. Which is fair. That's a little creepy. I mean...
Mind your business, Teach.
Yeah, man. This could go a whole other direction. And there are other internet videos that I've seen that... Anyway, so that's pretty harsh. But she's now really legit concerned about Lucas and his well-being, which is great, as she should be. From there, she goes back and tries to talk to Bill, her brother, again, about doing something about this, and then from there we get a bunch of flashbacks going into her childhood. We don't really see what happened other than she's got a nice dusting of PTSD.
Yeah.
Because, like, she has these creepy, like, her dad's coming up on her. And
yeah, from behind for a massage / possible...
kind of
touchy boob grab
a boob or something. Get the fuck out of here,
and
man.
They show him curled up in the fetal position in her bed, naked.
I mean...
Gross.
Gross. Now, I've been known to have a couple cocktails here at the house. Yeah. And I've been known to fall asleep in the wrong room.
Yes.
But I don't do it naked, Dusty. That I know of. That I know of.
I don't know, buddy.
Well, that was at one time in the bathtub, but that's a whole other thing.
I have seen you fall asleep with a whole face full of makeup and almost naked.
Stupid. That was stupid, yeah.
I don't know if we want to air your dirty laundry on the show.
Halloween parties.
We get down on Halloween.
Here comes the listener mail. I've just been subpoenaed. Okay. So that's pretty nasty. What we're showing here is that Jules has some history with abusive fathers, and she's connecting with Lucas, and that's great. Next day at school, we see Lucas kind of carving a figurine, I guess, out of some wood. A totem thing. Yeah. And it's basically like a deer skull with antlers coming out of it. Now, we're horror dorks.
And sharp teeth.
Yeah, sharp teeth. Yeah. And he kind of bites himself with it, too, which is even weirder. Now, we're horror dorks here in the padded room.
Well, I had a theory about that. We can talk about it in a second.
Okay. We know what the deer antlers and the fucking antlers means in Native American lore. It's a Wendigo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, this may be all one big metaphor for something else, but we'll get into that towards the end of the movie. So at this point, everything is kind of coming together. Well, not really, but after that, she follows him out into the woods again, and this time we see him like setting a trap in a weird way.
He's snare.
She goes through his desk and finds a bunch of books on like trapping animals and stuff. So we see him like
and a Native American or a evil spirits guidebook or something.
Yeah. But he's got like a trap set up out in the woods, and he's getting it all ready to go, and then he hears some footsteps off to his left, and then he just happens to look over around a bush, and he sees a guy who just happened to come upon the remains of a dead guy, which is nasty. We'll find out in a few minutes. Those are actually Alan's remains, who was
what's left of him,
the meth partner down in the mines there. Pretty nasty. He gets the hell out of there, as he should. I have to wonder, though, at this point, he had to have known that body was there, right?
I don't know if he knew it was there. I think he got left out in the woods when they first got attacked. Maybe the attack, because obviously his dad's not dead, right? I mean, So we know right at this point we're thinking Wendigo. So his dad obviously was bitten or whatever, but was left alive. So I thought maybe Dad was left alive somewhere in or around the mine, and the Wendigo fed on the other dude and dumped his body out in the woods. So maybe Lucas has never seen the body. I don't know.
The original Wendigo, right?
Yeah.
So as Wendigos go, I mean, okay, so we have to, well, we'll get more into that when we get into the actual folklore of this particular Wendigo, I guess. But we do now have an official dead body on our hands, and that's going to be problematic. So we call it, whoever the guy was that was standing over the dead guy, he calls it in. Now Bill has to go investigate it, so they go out there, they find the dead body, take it to the coroner, I guess, and this guy has no clue what the fuck is going on here. Doesn't look like any animal attack that he knows. There's giant chunks missing out of the thing.
Well, his whole lower half is basically gone.
Yeah.
It's just skeletal. You know? Well, meat skeleton. But,
just like bones sticking out. Like from the chest up, though, it's obviously human, and it's identifiable as Alan, the meth partner guy. So, all right, well, that's cool. We know what's going on with that. But now Bill has to go talk to Frank, because he knows that Alan and Frank are homies and meth guys together. So there we go. He goes and knocks on Frank's door. Of course, nobody answers. But he says, he's like, we'll come back tomorrow with a warrant if we have to, dude, because we know you're in there.
And, got a whiff. They got a whiff.
They got a whiff. There's dead guy.
It smells like death.
It smells like dead guy up in here, which is not a good cologne, by the way. If you find that on Amazon, 1 star. Nobody wants to smell like dead guy. Pretty good beer, though. So that's nasty, and now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of what's going on here. While that's happening, actually, Lucas is inside, and he's turning the lights off and being sneaky so Bill doesn't see him inside. So now we're actually going to get to see Frank here for a second, because Lucas goes up there to take Aiden like some candy or something like that.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to get him to eat something
real
like
food.
I think he was bringing him some stuff that the teacher had got from she bought him a hamburger or something, and he brought back some fries or something that wasn't meat. Like,
right.
It was something that, anyway.
Like a human being would eat.
Right, yes.
Aiden tries to eat it, but then he just like starts bleeding out of his eyes.
And his mouth.
And his
coughing
mouth.
It up.
Gross. And we actually get to see Frank here for a second. Pretty bad shape. He looks like one of the infected from 28 Days Later.
Except for his chest is glowing.
His chest is glowing, which is pretty kick-ass. Mm-hmm. It's like a meth head Tony Stark situation.
Yeah, or E.T.
E.T., well, yeah, that too, on meth.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty, and he's just like growling and banging around and shit. He doesn't actually hurt Lucas at all. Mm. And Aiden is in the room with him at this point. So after Lucas hauls ass out of there, he's got a weird situation on the door where he's got like a padlock and then a hinge, and he has to like screw the fucking thing in every time he opens it or closes it.
Yeah.
So some little white trash engineering going on there. But when you got a fucking Wendigo for a dad, duct tape ain't going to do the trick anymore.
A screwdriver and a hasp block.
Something, yeah. Fucking wedge it in there if you have to. I don't care. So that's pretty nasty. Before that, though, I think. No, after that. What's her name there? Jules goes to the principal there at school, played by Amy Madigan. Does this lady look familiar at all to you?
The only movie I've ever seen her in.
Yeah?
Uncle Buck.
Oh, yeah.
She was the girlfriend in Uncle Buck.
Yep. She was also Kevin Costner's wife in Field of Dreams.
Oh, that's right. Yes, of course.
She is also...
I've watched the movie plenty of times.
Yeah. There's a really good... well, it's probably not good now, but I loved it when I was a kid. Kind of rock and roll fucking hero movie. It's called Streets of Fire. With Michael Pare.
I probably have seen it.
And it's like he's an army vet that just got back into town, and this gang led by Willem Dafoe, like a 50s biker doo-wop gang, kidnaps the local rock star chick, and now he's got to go rescue her from the Willem Dafoe. They get a very cool sledgehammer fight at the end. But she's like his little sidekick. She has never been attractive in any movie.
No.
How does she keep getting work as an actress? Give me the ugliest lady you can find. I need her in here right now.
Well, she kind of fit with John Candy and Uncle Buck.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because you're thinking, well, this guy's not going to get a 10, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to get a 6-ish, 5-ish.
Here's somebody who looks like they should work at a tire shop.
Exactly, because that's what she did.
Exactly right. Oh, yuck. All right, anyway, Amy Madigan here is the principal. She's getting sick of listening to Jules gripe about this kid, so she's like, okay, I'll stop by the Weaver house tonight, and I'll see what I can kick up. So she goes to the Weaver house. She lets herself in, hears all the growling and banging going on upstairs, decides it's probably a good idea to go investigate that. Genius.
Goes up. What curiosity got you?
Well, I know what happened. We got Amy Madigan here. She goes upstairs and gets her ass eaten. And not in the sexual way. I mean, good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty gnarly scene too.
Nosy bitch got what's coming to her.
Yeah. She got taken down and just basically bitten to death. And in doing so, she triggers some kind of a process in Frank. I couldn't really tell what the fuck was happening other than like
like a butterfly
emerging
out from
of
the
cocoon,
chrysalis.
But like a weird, it looked to me like tree roots were shooting out of
his
his
antlers
mouth.
were coming out of his mouth.
Those were antlers, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you think about it, when he becomes the full Wendigo, it's antlers. So
yeah,
the antlers were the first thing that started coming out of his mouth.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
doesn't really add up later on in the movie, but that's okay. We'll get to that here in a minute.
How did stuff that big thing into the body of that guy?
And then, whatever. He apparently has now had officially human meat, other than meth guy Alan. So now he's the full-on.
I think the original one ate Alan.
It could be.
So then that might have been his first human kill.
Okay, that makes sense.
Frank's, anyway.
Yeah. So she's dead now, and that's gross, and she's up there. Now we have a real problem on our hands, especially for Lucas, because he knows that this isn't going to last forever. We got to do something. He can't leave. He's only, 9, 10 years old, and he doesn't have anywhere else to go, and he still cares about his brother. He knows his dad is fucking donezo, but that's okay. He is like, cops are probably going to come here pretty soon. I'm just going to start walking. So he starts walking and almost immediately gets accosted by Howdy Doody again.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, faggot, I don't take apologies for pussies. Get back here when I'm talking to you. And then the Wendigo just pops out of a tree and just smashes Howdy Doody.
Eats the fuck out of him.
He's done.
A redheaded prick.
Yeah, he's done too. Presumably the next day we now have the kid's parents looking for him. Also, the principal didn't show up to school. Jules is up her brother's ass about you gotta be shitting me, man.
Now there's 3.
Yeah, you gotta be shitting me. And he's like, well, I don't fucking know. So they decide, they kind of thumb through the book that she found in Lucas's desk. They decide they're going to talk to some local natives, see if they know anything. They go talk to the former sheriff, who is a Native American.
He was the guy that found Alan.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't really tell, but I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Because he kind of looked at him, and there was recognition when he found the body. He's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, okay.
He kind of recognized what could have done
this.
Oh,
Jesus. Go and talk to him, and he's like, yeah, man, that's the Wendigo right there, so... it's a pretty nasty customer. What happens is you start fucking with Mother Nature, and this evil spirit comes out, and it inhabits a guy, and then from there it kind of hops to whoever it wants to. Only way to do it, you gotta take it down, and he says extinguish its heart, which I took later to mean that you gotta either cut the heart out or
you gotta cut the heart out and then stab it or destroy it or something. I don't know, yeah.
Sure, because the fucking chest in Frank was like glowing red. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here, because I love the Native American thing, but Bill is like, dude, it's not a goddamn monster. It's some weirdo out there disappearing people. Okay, well, now we got our search warrant, so let's head on back to Frank's house, see what he wants to tell us. Get up there, immediately find the dead body of
the principal lady.
The principal lady. It's fucked up, man. It's like Frank and the Cenobites fucked up. That's how bad it is. Mm-hmm. And then they find what's left of Frank, who, like you said aptly, looks like a cocoon.
Just a husk.
Yeah, pretty much. And no sign of Aiden. So that's nasty. Lucas just happens upon this scene as he's walking back from wherever he came from. He's like, oh, shit, you guys can't be in there. So he takes off, and then that's when Jules grabs him, and he's just like, hey, bro, you're not going up in there. They take Lucas to the hospital and get him checked in for the night. And this is where we get a flashback as to what the hell happened after that day at the mine. Basically, somehow, Frank made it home to Lucas and Aiden.
With Aiden in tow.
Right? Yeah, Aiden was there. He was not feeling too good, and he knew he wasn't, and he just kept eating and eating and eating, and every time he ate, he got more hungry. But he knew, I feel like he knew that something was not good, and he needed to separate himself not only from his kids, but from everybody.
Right.
So that's where the toolbox came out, and all the hinges and the latches,
locks and
deadbolts came. And he's like, look, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm really, really sick, and you guys need to stay away from me. And they're like, oh, okay, Dad, whatever you say. And then a couple days go by, I guess, and now little Aiden is having similar problems, so they go and try to knock on Dad's door, and now he's gone completely feral, and he's like his hair's coming off. And they're like, Dad, so Aiden's not feeling too good. And then he just kind of grabs Aiden and pulls him in the room and slams the door. From that day forward, Lucas has pretty much been on his own. Mm-hmm. Why is he still going to school? Fuck all that.
Got to keep up the appearances. Yeah,
I suppose, and it's probably like the only bastion of normalcy he has in his life at this point. So, yeah, right on. That sucks. But good news, Lucas is in the hospital. We find out that he's malnourished. There's all kinds of signs of abuse. Dehydrated. Probably hasn't had a good night's sleep in quite some time. We don't know what to do with this kid because, we'll keep him there for testing overnight because, I don't know, he might have all kinds of other problems. But at this point, Jules and Bill decide that they're going to take the kid home with them because doesn't have anywhere else to go, I guess. So, it's humanitarian.
I don't think they had a social services
probably not
branch of the little town government.
No, not here in Beaver Lodge, Oregon, or wherever we're at. So they take him home. They get him fed. We get more bonding moments between Jules and Lucas. At one point, Bill is out of the house, and he's, I guess, talking to the mayor or something, but he has one of his deputies go to the house just to keep an eye on them. Mm-hmm. Guy's kind of like walking around outside. Inside, Lucas and Jules are having like a little heart-to-heart conversation about their mothers, and she's like, oh, well, your mother died, and now your dad's dead, and that kind of sucks too, but we really need to know where Aiden is. And this is when Lucas is like, oh, Dad's not dead. No, he's not dead. Don't worry about him. And she's like, oh, no, he's dead. He's like split open in your attic. And he's like, no, I saw all that.
That was my old dad.
Yeah. He just took off. He's got Aiden with him, and he's going to come back and pick me up any minute now. So, and she's like, I don't think so. So she calls Bill real quick. Bill is trying to get a hold of the deputy outside, and this is when all the growling and the fucking howling and all that shit starts creeping around from outside. Dark as shit, of course. The deputy, unfortunately, played by Rory Cochrane. Recognize this guy?
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. Oculus.
Yeah.
What was that weird cartoon movie? Scanner Darkly.
Mm-hmm. He's been in quite a few things.
He's a pretty good actor when he has lines and stuff. He's in this movie for all of about 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't have much to say.
No, he just kind of walks around. He's walking around following the growling outside. He goes to, I think, like a tool shed or something. Yeah. Pops the door open, and there's like a milk crate in there with a bunch of blankets. He's like, what the hell? So the blankets start moving, and up pops Aiden. And he's like, oh, excellent. Hey, buddy. Gets on the radio. Bill, I found the kid. And then here comes our Wendigo, who apparently now has like big tusks or something. Antlers, tusks, yeah. I don't know. It looked to me like a big... I don't know, like almost had like a Godzilla Stegosaurus back kind of a thing going on.
Yeah, antlers on his head, and then he kind of had what looked to me looked porcupine shoulder area.
Okay.
And he was ramming them like goats, so he'd ram into him and he punctured him. And his antlers came through his back and through his chest.
Yeah.
He killed him like instantly, that guy.
Killed Rory Cochrane, sad.
But he's using his antlers as ramming devices.
That's like the big thing there. That sucks. They heard all that inside, so now they're freaking out. The growling is like now moving around the outside of the house. So we get a fun little cat and mouse game going on with Jules and Lucas trying to stay away from Dad. About this time, Bill shows back up, and he's got his flashers on and everything. And he's like, okay, what the hell's going on here? He sees the dead body of Rory Cochrane, so he's like, oh, shit. Well, I don't know. So he pulls his weapon, and he starts running around. Unfortunately, Jules and Lucas left her cell phone on the coffee table when they left. And they're watching Bill outside as he's going around the house.
Doing the search. Yeah.
And they can see the Wendigo kind of following him, which sucks. Eventually, he goes to investigate Rory Cochrane's body, and then he gets basically the same treatment.
Luckily, he put his bulletproof vest on before he went searching.
So, I'm assuming he got punctured, obviously, but it
didn't go through his chest. It kind of went through his shoulder where the vest wasn't covered.
Okay.
That's what I saw.
I'll buy that.
The first ram.
Yeah. Well, it goes through and it catches him, and then he's got to jerk itself free. Mm-hmm. And Bill starts
tosses him across the room,
hitting him with a broom or something, trying to get him off. But that sucks. At that point, Aiden pops out of the fucking
milk crate
thing, and off Dad and Aiden go. Okay, well, we know where they're going. They're going back to the goddamn mill tunnel thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. So Jules is like, come on, we got to go get him. And Bill's half dead at this point. He's like, I'm coming with you. Yeah. Get my gun, we're going to go. So she gets in the cop car, and they go hauling ass to the tunnel mines. Luckily, they call an ambulance on the way there because Bill's bleeding all over the goddamn place. And this is my least favorite part of the movie, because right here we are going to get a reenactment of the final scene in Aliens. If she had gone down there and said, step away from him, you bitch!
Right.
That would have been pretty much... If she duct tape a pulse rifle to a flamethrower... That we pretty much would have the exact same scene here. So that's basically what happens.
She battles the Wendigo.
She battles the Wendigo, manages to kill it with like a weird pike pole thing that she finds.
She stabbed her quite a few fucking times.
Yeah.
And then the kid.
Lucas is like, you're right, I got to kill Dad here.
So they behind him.
They like tag team him and they stab the shit out of him. You get a little fun, like, touching moment where, like, once Dad realizes his son is the one doing the stabbing, then he's like, I'm just going to lay down and die. But in a really silly part, when she first comes upon the Wendigo, it, like, turns, and you can see it's kind of wearing Frank's face for a second. After all that, you're going to tell me that was just sitting there the whole time while it was out running around in the woods?
No.
All right. Well,
he rips it off.
Yeah.
When he gets pissed because she's jabbed him a couple of times with the pike.
Are you trying to fool her?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Frank. My bad. I
didn't recognize you.
I was looking for the hairy guy. Get the fuck out of here, you silly guy. Big battle. They battle it out. Managed to kill and take the heart out of Frank.
And when she pulled it out, she was like,
super hot because it was like smoldering. But then she stabs it, I think, and then that's the end of him. And once that happens, then Aiden, who was like hiding in the back tunnel, starts like howling and yelping and she's like,
turn.
Yep, she's like, dude, gonna have to kill your brother too, man. I'm sorry. And he's like, no, don't do it.
He'll get better.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. And she's like, dude, you know what's going to happen here, so let's just get this over with. And then Lucas eventually is like, yeah, you're right. So he turns away and she kills Aiden, presumably. And
it's a total, like, you don't see the knife going in, but she's hugging him, like she's crying, like she's upset about doing it. It's a pretty rough moment.
It is. I didn't want to get all teary-eyed, Dustin. It is.
It's a pretty rough one.
It's an emotional thing, but
the kid was pretty cute when he wasn't all fucking gnarly looking.
Yeah, before he had the ringworm or whatever. It's nasty, and eventually she does kill Aiden, and that's that. And then we cut to, presumably a couple days later, her and her brother are out walking along the banks of a river, and he's like all bandaged up, and she's like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I guess we had to do what we had to do, right? And then he just starts coughing all of a sudden.
Yeah,
as
they
if
walk
to
away.
Say, as if to say, he might be the next Wendigo.
He's got the Wendigo in him because he looks at his hand. He's got the black ichor coming out when he's coughing, and he's like, well, I'm fucked.
Yep. Okay, got to cut your fucking heart out too, bro.
Yep.
What did you think of Antlers there, Dusty?
I liked it. That was the second time I've seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't remember the rough part about the having to kill the little kid,
the little boy,
but no, it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was above when you said a 5.9, I was like, I thought it was a little better than that.
I would agree. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like a depressing horror movie.
That it was.
There is not, other than the dog shit thing, there was not any humor in this.
No.
And this is what I like in a horror movie, man. I like a movie that affects you, you know?
Definitely, yep.
I mean, it's not a movie I'm going to watch on a regular basis.
No.
But it is a good movie.
Right.
And I will watch it again.
A couple years down the road.
Yeah. Maybe when my kids aren't the exact same age as the kids in the movie.
Yeah, that's a tough part there, yeah.
That's a little difficult.
I remember this movie when it was coming out, reading through horror news and stuff like that and talking about Benicio del Toro doing a Wendigo movie. I was like, oh, that should be pretty fucking cool. And it hit some, like, distribution issues or something? Was it during the COVID thing?
It was. Yeah.
Was it COVID?
Yeah,
Is that what it
was supposed to be released, theatrical release in 2020.
Yeah, that's what happened there.
Got kicked right out of there. That's why it didn't come out till 2021.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Happened to a lot of good horror movies.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of filtering through now, and we're picking them up on VOD and all kinds of weird places. Right on, man. Well, it's a good show. Streaming presently on Prime. I had to pay $4 to watch it.
Oh, it was on Hulu.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, free $3.99.
Fucking shit. God damn it. I was going to order the Blu-ray anyway. Let's take us a little break, young man. We'll come back with some other stuff.
Sure.
Hey, inmates. If you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
And we are back, Monsignor.
Yes, sir.
Oh, buddy. Are you ready for the second installment of our new segment?
I am shaking with anticipation.
Stop shaking, please.
Okay.
You're going to ruin my setup here. Here comes another episode of Road Reads.
Yeah.
Road Reads.
This week, I've finished a book which many would call an American classic, and what some would also say jump-started the true crime subgenre. I read In Cold Blood from 1965 by Truman Capote, published by Random House. This one is probably my second favorite true crime book ever. Really good book, dude. Details the
Capone or
Capote.
No, I mean, wasn't it about Al Capone? I don't
know. No.
Okay.
No. This is the crime itself is actually, by today's standards, fairly tame. I mean, it is a family annihilation.
Oh, okay.
1915, November 15th, 1959, small town of Holcomb, Kansas. The Clutter family, who at the time was very well-to-do, was accosted by two ex-cons, and the way it's written, the way Capote wrote it, it's not written in the scientific method that most true crime novels are, with like evidence,
the facts and evidence, and
stuff like
eyewitness
that.
accounts.
It's almost as if it's written as a work of fiction.
Okay,
and there have been some detractors that say that Capote took certain creative liberties with the characters because there's like dialogue involved and the two guys talking about. Exactly.
He wasn't there. Yeah,
he did interview them both, the two killers, quite extensively before they were both executed. But really good book. Reading it, there's a certain sense of dread because you already know how the story ends. Happened in 1959. And once you start reading it, you'll immediately get curious and you'll start doing the Google image searches. Yeah. And nothing good. The two guys look exactly like you think they would. They're a couple of ex-cons. 1959. They both look like they're extras from a James Dean movie. You know what I mean? And the Clutter family looks exactly like you'd expect them to. Very uptight, religious.
What is it, Herb and Joan Cleaver or whatever the guy?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And they were very involved in 4-H and their local church and helping like these Japanese immigrants integrate themselves into small town Kansas life. Everybody loved them. They were sitting on quite a bit of money. Like they owned a lot of property. And like one of the guys did time with a guy who used to work for Herbert Clutter, and that's how he found out about all the money there. And somehow they got the asinine idea that like Herb just kept all of his cash in a safe under his desk, which is he didn't. It was all in a bank.
Yeah.
So they go there, they torture and kill the family. And then they've got this other asinine idea about going to Mexico, which they actually made it to Mexico. But the big plan was that they were going to take their new fortune, go down to Mexico, buy a fishing boat, and then charge tourists to go deep-sea fishing.
All right.
Well, they made off with all of $50.
All right.
Even by 1959 money isn't going to get you very far.
Maybe in Mexico.
I mean, they did make it to Mexico, but they also one of the guys wasn't even he was doing time for floating bad checks. But he up to a certain
white
amount.
collar crime.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but he was also a jackass. But I mean, like the idea of like they made more money floating bad checks than they actually got from the Clutter family. So that was like their whole scam. They easily could have just said, "Well, you don't have any money. We should probably be on our way." But the other guy was a psycho, and he said no witnesses, so they tied everybody up and shot them all in the head with shotguns.
Oh.
Yeah, really bad.
That's messy.
Really bad. I think they made it about a month after the murders. Went to Mexico, blew all the money they made, banged a lot of prostitutes.
$50 will buy a lot of Mexican prostitutes in 1959.
You're probably right. You are papi. I would still
come
be
here,
down
big
there.
Boy.
I would not have come back, but they ran out of money and came back, got busted. I think if I remember right, they killed a hitchhiker. Or no, somebody picked him up hitchhiking, and they killed that guy and took his car, sold the car. It's a whole thing. Got caught, obviously, and executed for the crime. So there's that. The house that it
What
happened.
is the form of execution in there in Kansas there in 1965 or whenever?
They were actually executed in 1961, and at that point it was hanging.
Hanging still?
Yes.
All right.
And
good old Western justice.
Unceremoniously.
All right.
They literally had the gallows set up in a warehouse, marched them right in, punk. This was like I think it was about 10 days after their guilty verdict.
Oh, perfect.
So they got their automatic appeal denied, and they went clunk, done and
should
done.
Be done these days.
I agree.
Instead of sucking off the hind tit of the government for 20 years.
Oh, yeah. But great book. Second only, in my opinion, to The Devil in the White City.
I've read that one.
That one is even better, I would say.
They're supposed to do a movie about that.
They've been talking about that
for a TV
forever.
show.
Was it a TV show?
It was a TV show. I think Amazon was going to do a TV show about it.
I think.
I thought it was going to star. Who was it going to star?
There was some rumblings about Martin Scorsese doing it with Leonardo DiCaprio as H.H. Holmes.
Yes.
But that was fucking 20 years ago we were talking about that. I don't know. Anyway, great book. Definitely worth a read.
All
Available for $1 credit on Audible.
Okay.
Many would call this an American classic.
Sounds. I've known about it. I probably should have read it by now, since I do read the known works. It's not a hard read either. You know what I mean? Like you know exactly how this ends. But there's sometimes trying to read H.P. Lovecraft or Edgar Allan Poe. Oh yeah.
What the fuck does that word mean? How does any of this make sense? Are they even speaking English anymore? I don't know, man.
I tried with the Call of Cthulhu, and
it's hard.
Couldn't do it.
It's like a full-time job trying to get through it.
You're looking shit up, and
I'm driving a car. I can't do
exactly. I listen to this because I don't want to read, and now I'm reading what every other word means.
Yes.
It's not for me.
I can't with the thesaurus. Get out of here. Anyway, worth checking out, inmates, for sure. We would like to know what kind of reading you're into. Let us know. Area code 775-387-0275 is the mental health hotline. Drop us some Audible recommendations if you feel like it. I'm digging deep into the true crime right now. I read this one. I read the Delphi murders. What else did I read? Oh, The Devil in the White City, obviously. Hit me up with something. No more Manson stuff, though.
No.
I need a break from Charles Manson. All right, while you're thinking about that, inmates, we're going to tell you what movies we got to watch this week in a little segment called What Are You Looking At?
What are you looking at?
Well, I only got one movie in this week, Dusty. Mm-hmm. It is The Lost Footage of Leah Sullivan from 2018. You ever heard of this?
I have not.
Found footage, cheap as shit. It's exactly what you'd expect it to be. But I will say this one was much better than I had anticipated. Normally, you watch yourself a found footage horror movie, you know you're going to get a bunch of shaky cam. You know you're going to get a bunch of, oh, what the fuck was that? A bunch of dipshit kids chasing each other around. This one was actually pretty well acted. A lot of suspense, bit of a slow burn. The payoff at the end, while very ambiguous, is still pretty good, I would say. And it's not the fucking cheap shit that we're used to in found footage. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, what was that? Oh, I don't know. Oh, what happened to Dave? Oh, I don't know either. Oh, God. It's better than that. I will say that. I would call this a diamond in the rough as far as cheap found footage horror movies goes. If you're interested, I found this one streaming on the Roku channel.
Okay.
So I would say it's worth checking out if you're in the mood for found footage, but you're pissed off enough to not want to watch Apartment 32B again, which is not. I don't think that's an actual movie. I just made that up. Anyway, that's all I'm looking at, man. What do you got?
We had the big volleyball tournament this weekend, but we did have a break on Saturday.
Cool.
And we were in Folsom, and I said, hey, and the wife says, hey, you want to go watch a movie for this block, 3-hour block that we're in? Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And so we had to choose between Sinners or Final Destination Bloodlines.
Ooh.
So I put out the call
to
our good buddy Jason, and said, if it were you, he's seen them both.
Yeah.
Which would you go walk? And he gave me a very, as he's wont to do, analytical,
of course,
explanation of which one, and
of course,
which I appreciate.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we went and watched Sinners.
Okay, what'd you think?
Fucking great.
Yeah,
dude,
nice.
This movie is great.
Nice.
I was when I first kind of saw the trailers and stuff, I was like, I heard it was getting very good buzz, good reviews. Jason said he really liked it. Sarah loved it. So, but it is not kind of what you. I guess the trailer leads you to believe that it's all horror, right? It's the trailer leads you to believe it's vampires. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's only about as Jason was describing to me. It's about a third of the movie is the horror, and the rest is just kind of 1930s Mississippi. Nice. Two brothers come back, and Michael B. Jordan, he plays the character of two brothers,
right?
The twin brothers, and they had left Mississippi, small town Mississippi, and gone up to Chicago, and basically got involved with bootlegging type business, and they were working for the Italian gangs, working for the Irish gangs, and then they end up back down in Mississippi. Kind of got a lot of change in their pocket from all the stuff they had done in Chicago. Wanted to come home. I think it kind of implied they might have been on the run from one or both of the big mafioso types there.
Okay.
And they wanted to open up what's called a juke joint. So they spend all their money and they come back to town. Everybody's, oh, how are you boys doing? Like, we haven't seen you forever. And they get a whole big party set up at the, they bought an old, I think it's a mill, like a cotton mill or something like that. I don't know. So they bought the mill and they get all the fixings to have a great big party, round up a couple musicians. The one guy, their little cousin's a musician, hell of a blues player. And the music in this thing and the musical sequences and stuff. I don't like musicals, right?
Is this a musical?
It's not a musical.
Okay.
But they do a couple of big kind of musical like numbers, right?
Okay.
But it makes sense in the lore and the mythos of the vampires that are in this story. And some of older I want to say lore from, I think the what do you call it, the Creole kind of lore, but it's just a great movie all around. But like I said, in Jason, it was right. It's about a third. You get into the horror aspect.
Yeah.
The rest is kind of life as an African American or minority in this small town Mississippi back in the 1930s, right?
Cool.
32.
Yeah.
And just the cinematography, it's a great movie. It's like an all-around good movie, not just a good horror movie.
Cool.
So
right on.
Definitely worth a watch.
Excellent.
I would definitely give it a look. So.
Right on. We'll get around to it one of these days.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Is that it?
Yeah, when it does get into the horror aspect, it's fucking great. Like,
I'm sure.
The vampires are phenomenal. It's great.
That's what I heard.
It's fucking great. It's just a great movie.
Cool.
Emotional. Pulls at the heartstrings.
Oh, no.
Yep.
No, not my heartstrings.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. So, I got to stretch those out before I go in.
And then I did, not what are you looking at, but I started playing, or I finished actually, PlayStation 5, they just dropped, or about a month ago, dropped the Indiana Jones game.
There's an Indiana Jones game?
And it is fucking fun. I'm telling you.
Great.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I didn't know there was an
Indiana Jones game.
It's great. You play as Indiana Jones, you're sneaking past, beating up, killing Nazis.
Nice.
You go from the Vatican, and you're solving puzzles and stuff. I'm telling you, this game, the story of this game,
probably better than the last movie.
Exactly. Better than the last 2 Indiana Jones movies.
No.
Like, it's great. Like,
right on.
You get you in, you're solving shit, like you're pretending, I mean, you're Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking for clues, and this belongs in a museum.
Of course.
And, it's great. I would recommend, if you're a video game person and you like Indiana Jones movies, that game is fun as shit.
Very cool. Right on. How about a little immersion therapy then, big guy?
Sounds good.
Immersion therapy.
So when I started Ugly Stepsister, I couldn't get past the part where she had braces.
Yeah, was that a thing?
There's no fucking way they had braces in Elizabethan England. But whatever. I don't think any of this really.
Because did they even have glue that could glue to teeth back then? Like,
I doubt it, but I don't know. They might have. I mean, that guy that was like the cosmetic surgeon, he had a screw loose or two. But
magnifique.
Yeah. As soon as he broke out the hammer and chisel for the nose job, fucking dude.
That was gnarly.
That's what we're doing then. Okay. I mean, that was gnarly. And then, but
the eyelash.
Those eyelashes, though. Fuck
that
you.
Was
fuck you.
I kept rubbing my eyes when I was watching that part. I'm like, oh my God.
We'll just stitch them right on there. No, but you can't do that.
Oh God.
God. It is gnarly, man. Yep. Ugly Stepsister from 2024. Streaming on Shudder presently. It is, put it plainly, it's Cinderella told from the perspective of the ugly stepsister. Mm-hmm. And Cinderella's kind of a see you next Tuesday also.
Yeah, but she got movie. I think it was cool how they basically said how she became Cinderella.
Yeah.
Like how they basically ostracized her.
Yeah.
You know.
The whole thing makes sense in the end. Really. Yeah. But could have done without seeing the Stable Boys Johnson. I'll tell you that right now.
I think it was a fake. I don't know.
I hope so. If fucking that guy was... Yeah. Other than that, it's a pretty good show, man. It's going to make your skin crawl a little bit because
a couple cringy parts.
Yeah, and I don't know, dude. Just the body horror of it, really, it's what it is.
She was a bit of a nutbag. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The part with the worms, though.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, I get it. Your whole family has put all this pressure on you to marry the rich guy because we are drowning in debt. And Mom married the other rich, what we thought was a rich guy, and he kicked the bucket immediately after.
Broke as a joke.
Yeah, it's all up to you. You better do something, man. Maybe not that. Well, I feel like we need a palate cleanser after that, Dusty. What do you got for us this week?
Hey, let's check out Companion. It is on Max currently. When Iris realizes that she is a made-to-order AI companion for her boyfriend, Josh, she must embrace who she is and fight to survive. And like I said, you'll find it on Max.
Very cool. Check that shit out, inmates. We'll do the same, and we can compare notes next week. How about a round of Who's Your Daddy while we wait?
Who is Daddy?
First, my clues from last week. Well, I am a scientist and a bit of a philanthropist and somewhat of a ladies' man, I like to think, Dusty. My good friend has barricaded himself in the basement. He's working on our next big scientific breakthrough. His wife is a little nervous, so she called me to stop by and check on him. Unfortunately, he has somehow melded himself with an insect, and now he's like a big monstrous thing with one stupid arm, and there's a goddamn fly buzzing around here begging me to help him. I am, of course, the fly. Yes.
The original.
Vincent
Price.
I gotta tell you, I think the Cronenberg fly is better.
Well, I mean, you think about it, that's our generation fly, right? I mean,
it's a horror movie.
The
original Fly, I suppose, in its time was a horror movie, but now it's help me.
Very silly.
Just fucking stomp on him. Get back to banging his wife already. Who might I be this week, you ask? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I had cured cancer, and things were going pretty well for a minute, and then the genetic sequencing I used backfired, and all of a sudden, people weren't what they used to be. Somehow, I have completely avoided the big problem here, and now I'm holed up in my house, and I can only come out during the day. So I think my best bet at this point is basically just going door to door and putting everybody out of their misery. And I'll be goddamn if it didn't turn out that I'm actually the asshole in this equation, because human society has just evolved and now everybody's terrified of me because they think I'm some kind of a rampaging lunatic, Dusty.
Oh, boy.
Fuck! Well, whatever. I did my best. Who might I be, you ask? Tune in next week and I'll drop some knowledge on you, inmates. In the meantime, I think that's about going to do it for us this week, buddy. Or Dusty? Or Busty?
Busty.
Dusty Bolusty. You got anything else on the week, my man?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Have a good week.
Thank you guys very much for listening. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you heard this show. That helps our visibility quite a bit. Any information you need about us, our links, our T-Villain link, our Patreon link, Amazon link, it's all at paddedroompodcast.com. Just go hit that up and you'll find anything you need there. And an entire archive of our previous shows. Fucking 15 years worth, dudes. That'll take you at least... Well, you'll get sick of me before you make it through the entire archive. I'm sick of me, and I'm not even listening. I didn't even download this. I have to live with this every day. For Buddy in absentia, his son, who I hope is feeling better.
Yep, get better soon, buddy.
Wendigos, Native American spirits, the meth heads that happen to stumble upon them, scientists that are fucking around with teleportation, fake eyelashes, and the things crazy bitches will do to get those motherfuckers to stay in place.
Beauty is pain.
Oh, a lot of pain. And the Padded Room Podcast, I'm afraid visiting hours are over.